That's some heavy shit. But hey, we've all done some bad shit in our lives, right? Comes with the territory. And you're gonna have to make peace with that. Just like you're gonna have to make peace with the fact that you could be responsible for some shit like that and then get up in front of a whole group of people who are struggling with the same issues and lie about being clean.
Oh, giving it all for love. Oh, giving it all for love.
Oh my gosh.
It goes something like that. Hi, I'm Nick.
I'm Hunter. And this is NYC Actors Talk Film, my babies. Nick, you just made me cry. I don't know if it's emotional tears or if it's laughter tears, but it was something.
A little bit of both, I think. But yeah, welcome everyone to our Euphoria. It feels good to talk about this show finally, because this is our sort of anticipated episode of us talking about this show, because everyone loves it and people wanted us to talk about it, so we're going to talk about it.
So here we are. It was up to you guys, and you guys picked this show. So here we are.
So this is your fault.
This is
the person listening right now. It's your fault.
Oh, so it's your fault I watched the Christmas special. Oh, so it's your fault.
Give it all for love. Okay. Also, we're going to talk about Euphoria. We're going to have a good time. We're going to talk about our thoughts on the very first season and the two specials that came along with it very recently in the past couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're going to talk about that, and we're just going to talk about, hey, Euphoria. Is it worth the hype? Is it actually that good? Because people are loving it, but
this show, I feel like, has created like a culture around it where people started, I don't know if they're doing it anymore. Started to like put glitter on their face and like
the great glitter war of 2020.
What? There was a war?
I got you.
You had an idea to start it with the song, and so did I. But mine has nothing to do with the show. It's just like it was the Euphoria. You've been on my mind like a drug. I was like a drug. I don't know, like a drugs. Don't
drugs.
Anyway.
Drugs. Okay. We're going to talk about Euphoria.
Yeah.
We don't get a lot of straight white voices.
You've come to the right place to hear two straight white dudes talk about
If you want to get the most boring opinion about Euphoria, here it is. So here it is. So, Hunter, I'm going to give it to you first. Right. What are your overall thoughts on the very first season of Euphoria?
Euphoria. So I first was watching this show when it came out, and I stopped watching at the end of the fourth episode. I don't know if it was because I was disinterested or if something in my life and I just stopped watching it for some reason. I couldn't remember. And so I was a little hesitant, but also excited to start watching the show. Mm-hmm. So my initial thoughts, like right as I'm watching the first episode, I'm like, I shouldn't be watching this. It felt like I was dropped into something in this weird, like some like depressing, like high school where all the bad things are happening and I shouldn't be here right now. And then by the third episode, I was all the way in. I was hooked, and I it felt so real, and the drama was too crazy not to see how it all panned out.
Oh wow! I thought you were gonna hate it.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna hate it.
Because the way you were, giving me cryptic text, I thought you were gonna hate it, because I was saying like, "Oh, you're almost done with Euphoria,"
and I was like,
and you were like, "Oh, it's a show."
Yeah, it's a show. But I didn't want to give it away too much, because I knew that you knew that I knew that you thought that I was gonna absolutely hate this show.
You sneaky bastard.
uh, but yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. The Christmas specials are another story, but we'll talk about those a little bit later. But yeah, the first season I was all the way in, but the first episode I didn't really like. But yeah,
Right, like it was, so it was hard for you to start
it
off the
because
show,
it
but
drops.
once it got going, you were on board.
Yeah, like because it drops you into this, like, it just made me feel icky. And I was like, oh, I shouldn't be watching all these like high schoolers do this stuff. But then I was like, you know what I mean? It was like,
But
ooh.
then you look
But
up
then
how old they are, and they're like in their 20s.
yeah, and it's like, all right,
It's not
whatever.
so bad.
And then it really, like, it starts getting into this crazy story, and it's like, I need to know what's going to happen.
I wanna know.
Can you
Can you
show?
show me? So yeah, so those are your overall thoughts?
Yeah. What about
Awesome.
you, my boy?
Yeah, so I was kind of the same way, but I think the opposite. Uh, First I was on board, then I wasn't, then I was. So yeah, it was a roller coaster, but overall, yeah, I think it's a show that's highly entertaining, accessible, and really daring. I think like the high school portrayed on an HBO show, like that should be weird and terrible, but it's not. Like I think the performances are great, and the cinematography is great. It's like you're inside Candy, or you are Candy, and the show has a lot of promising uh, things about it and potential. It doesn't always stick the landing for me. I think it works maybe like 70% of the time. Uh, and maybe it goes too far in a few scenes like you were sort of mentioning, but yeah, maybe it goes too
Mm-hmm.
far, but you do care about what happens to these fucked up teens.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a great foundation for an even better, more refined show in the future, and what we have now is still really good, I think, and flawed in some ways, that I think we'll get into, but I think it's a worthwhile show, and definitely one of the more profound and better coming of age shows to come out in the past, like, I don't know, 10 years. Also,
Mm-hmm.
you see a micro penis. So yeah. So those are my
Yeah.
thoughts.
Oh God.
Overall thoughts. That
Ugh.
was I still have nightmares.
Yeah, that part is so disturbing.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
so
bit,
disturbing. It's a bit
it's a bit,
much.
it's a little bit.
It's a little teeny tiny bit
If you catch
much.
my drift.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my overall thoughts. So Hunter, it seems like we're kind of on the same page. I think like we
Yeah,
like it.
I think we are.
There's some things we don't like. Maybe I'm actually a little less. I thought it was
I
going to be
think
the other way around. I thought you were going to like it less than me, but I might like it slightly less than you. So I don't know. But we'll get into it. So yeah. But yeah,
yeah.
I really like it though. I really like the show.
Yeah, I mean there are definite problems with it, and I think I'll just say it now, like as soon as the season ends, it's like, okay, it's over. And then they came out, they're Christmas specials, are they not? Is that what they are?
Yeah, well,
And
at
then
least
those
I guess technically the second one is too, but yeah,
and
the
then
Rue one and the Jules one.
those came out, and I watched those, and I was like, all right,
Like the
you guys really tied a nice bow on the story for the most part, I think. And then you guys reopened it in a way that I didn't understand. Like I didn't get. I was like, do something else, do something new. I don't get it. I already knew how you guys felt.
Okay, that's interesting.
You know
I
what I mean?
so you thought like, oh, they already ended it pretty well. Why are you doing more before the second season, kind of thing?
Yes, I was like, these are weird add-ons. I don't understand.
Interesting.
Cause
See, I kind of had the opposite. I was like, oh, good, more. Uh, and because even though I liked the last episode, I thought those two episodes were actually better episodes. I don't know if better finales, and we'll get to why they
Mhm.
filmed those the way they did because of the pandemic. Uh, but yeah, because obviously, if you know behind the scenes stuff, you know, like those were supposed to be season 2 scripts, but because of the pandemic, they had to stop production on season 2, so they just took some of
Okay.
those scenes and made them like standalone special
Interesting.
episodes.
I
But yeah,
I
I think you're right when it's like it's a little weird that like yeah we had an ending and then we have these two specials
mhm.
that that especially for Rue like really takes away like you know is she dead or not like because we have a special right after about her,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like I don't know, it's kind of like killing off a major character and then you have like a special episode before the next season and oh no she's fine. It's a little strange. So I'll give you that. I'll definitely give you that.
Yeah, and yeah, I just didn't understand. I didn't understand the timeline where I was. I was like, I thought that
I
she
was
just
confused too. Yeah,
yeah, and it didn't answer it. It didn't answer it at all.
I think eventually I got it though. I think it's you know obviously all that stuff is after the
Hmm.
finale of season 1, and this stuff
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like kind of like setting up where we'll go next time. But yeah, I think it just all goes down to the pandemic because it's like yeah we're you know we were supposed to do all this so let's just like do like mini episodes or not even mini episodes because they're roughly the same length.
yeah. I would
But
have
yeah,
liked it a little more if they weren't as long. And I respected what they were doing. I did. But at the same time, I was like, I could have gone without it. And honestly, I could still go without it. I'm not even thinking about them
interesting because
really when I think about
I
Euphoria.
really like the specials so I'm it's interesting that you really didn't really so
Yeah, I don't think that much
yeah
of
I
them.
thought those were add-ons that actually helped the
Really?
story
Yeah,
yeah
I
so it's
didn't.
once again interesting that we have a different view
I
of it.
know. It's so funny. We're hilarious. I think we're so
We're
funny.
hilarious.
We're hilarious because we agree. And then we're just like we like it. No, but in different
But in different
ways.
ways.
In
It's
different
in our own
ways.
ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like yeah, so when I say like I was on board, then I kind of maybe wasn't, but then on board again. Like at the
Yeah,
end, I
yeah.
was like really on board again. So yeah,
When did it lose you? Or and why? Why was
I
it
think it
slow
was
or
like sort of in after like 3, there's sort of like a halfway point. Like we
Mhm.
were getting like 4, 5, 6, where like yeah, like 4, 5, and 6 was when I was like I don't know, like we're seeing so much imagery and so much like, hey, look at these underage teens like getting, you know, basically sexually assaulted by these
Yeah,
adults, and they kind of want to be, and it's really just uncomfortable. And
I know.
I don't really want to think much about that,
Yeah.
but obviously, you know, they're just trying to, you know, experience life. But it's also just uncomfortable because, like, how about just like screw with people your age, so it's not that uncomfortable. And also, like,
Yeah.
maybe don't be so graphic. Like, I get like being
I
graphic,
know.
and I get like that has like a purpose and a kind of like power to it. Like, oh, you're seeing this, like it's raw, it's real.
Mhm.
But it's like if this was a college show, I would not have that issue.
Exactly. And I'll just say it right now because we're here. That brings me into my least favorite part about the show
Yeah.
is that it's so graphic. It's so graphic and it makes me feel gross. And like I wrote down, I was like, I realized by watching the show, like, am I some fucking prude? Like, like
Or
is
I
it?
was also thinking like, am I like some like I don't know sick perv? You know, because I was like, I'm
Right?
watching this.
I know it's weird, and it's like, well, HBO produced it, so they want you to watch it, and it's
Yeah,
not like
and
I'm
yeah.
watching like fucking cuties on Netflix, you
Oh
know?
my god,
Those
I
they're
will
not this
never ever
exact.
watch
I
Cuties.
know, and it's not the same thing, but it does make you feel like that. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Like I wanna watch shows to like obviously to like think about like ideas and for them to, like for shows to present me new ideas, but
Yeah.
also escapism. That's why these things
Yeah,
really
and I think the show
exist.
works for that in a lot of ways because once
It
again, it's
does,
like you're
yeah.
inside candy, so like it's like a music video, like it's all this crazy shit. I do think it works. I just think like yeah, you're right. It does really go a little too far in some
Yeah,
places.
like you're
If they
thinking,
were 18 or older in college, I would feel less hesitant to watch because yeah, it's like yeah, you really and they're all 20 something year olds anyway, so like why not just have it in college?
yeah, I know. I don't like
Like
that it's
I
in
get
high
like people
school.
are
It's
saying
weird.
like my sister loves the show and she's like oh
Mm.
it really portrays honestly the high school experience and I'm like sure yeah and I agree with you in a lot of ways but you could have had them in college and it would
Does
have been
it
the same
though?
kind of
What
I don't
high
know
school
I don't know what
experience
my
did
I don't know
she
what my I don't know what
have?
my sister has been doing but I certainly hope next to nothing of what I've seen in this
It's
show.
so funny because I was thinking, I was like, all right, like I graduated high school, what, like 2017 or something like that. It's like, wasn't like that.
Also, I'm pretty sure
It was
any
nice.
no high school has like parties like these.
Bro, I was like, these are crazy high school parties. And
Yeah,
I
these
get
are like
like
college
in,
parties. How
yeah, and
about just have them in college?
I know that's, yeah, I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
get
have
it.
an answer for you,
Yeah,
but you're very right.
a lot of movies have like 20, even 30-year-olds play high
High
schoolers, and it's
schoolers, yeah.
fine, and they look like adults and whatever. But like, yeah, it's just I don't know. Maybe
Well,
because it was so trying to be so raw and honest
yeah,
that
and
it felt a little weird to still have that kind of cliche of like having older people and do all these things
it
in a
also,
high school thing.
yeah, it also brings up the question of like what is this show's target audience? Who are they trying to,
Yeah,
because I
because
was like, all
obviously
right,
my
high
my sister loves
schoolers.
it and she just started college, so she was a high schooler when this
Yeah.
started. So
So it's
obviously
like,
high schoolers are watching it.
yeah. And then it's like, okay, like high schoolers. Well, what kind of high schoolers? Is it 15 to 16-year-olds? That's a little too graphic for those guys, I think. But
But
then
maybe
again, I
not.
don't know
Maybe
what the high
maybe
schoolers are
maybe it
doing
isn't. I don't
nowadays.
know.
I don't know what they do. Or maybe they're trying to act out Euphoria, and that's why it's like this.
I don't know. Maybe they're. I don't
Hopefully
know.
not.
It's a tricky subject, and once again, we're in our 20s, so we don't. Who knows? But
Yeah.
I think, regardless of that, I think sometimes it goes a little too far because yeah,
Mm.
it's like yeah, these sexual situations that are a big no no, and they're happening, and I sort of understand, but also like it's kind of like just to show something fucked up, or to show something like, man, isn't this crazy? I don't know.
This is my official review. This show's gross, but it's too crazy not to watch. It really is. Like, cause
You gotta
that's
watch it.
like that. How I said, like by the third episode, I was all the way in, cause it's like, well, what the fuck is gonna happen to these kids?
Yeah.
What are they doing? And then it's like, well, I want to see what they end up doing.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
see
it's
it.
very weird. It's weird. It hooks you in some way, cause it's very crazy.
But hey, yeah,
Nuts.
it sticks out to you. It sticks in your mind, so maybe it's
It
doing its
does.
job. I don't know.
Exactly.
HBO, HBO really pushes the envelope and
Yeah.
boundaries of what you can see on television. And I think let's talk about the positives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I love that we have a trans girl as one of our main characters on the
Bro,
show. She's wonderful. Hunter Schafer's great, and I think we have a really smart and honest portrayal of a
very.
trans woman.
Yeah, and something that I realized while watching it, because usually like I'll bring up Big Mouth, because that's the what stuck in my mind. I was like, oh, when they brought up a trans girl, like it was this big deal. It was like, this is bam,
Right.
and this one I didn't know until the fourth episode.
Right, because like
I
she
didn't
just
know.
kind of subtly
Yeah.
just like,
She
hey,
she,
I'm
she
taking
goes
hormones or
you
whatever.
know that and where I realized it, where she was all like she was arguing with Rue in the fourth episode, and she was like, I can't like just go out and like be with somebody, like, everybody knows that I'm trans. And then Rue cuts her off, and I was like, wait, what? Really? Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was very cool. I've never seen a movie or TV show do it in just such like a whatever, dude, kind of way. And I think that's important,
it is.
because
Yeah,
it really made it feel like normalized. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
like
Like I
this is how the
was.
world is, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's just how the world is. Like
Yeah.
it's all good.
I'll just go into one of my favorite parts.
Yeah,
Is like the like how you said that it's like being in candy. It's like, yeah, the world that it creates is so cool. Like I know it almost feels like I can see the map of the town that they live in, you know, and I really like that because I think that's a hard thing for a show to do. And then I also like the message that I think that it's trying to say, where it's
yeah,
like it doesn't matter like if you've done like bad things or whatever, like it doesn't matter if like it, you still are worthy of love, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
I like that, like
yeah.
I
Especially
thought that
with
that
Rue.
was,
Yeah,
yeah, and because she thinks like she's like I think in episode 6 or something like that, she's like there's a party and she's like, I'm a burden, I'm just gonna go. And it's like, ah, god,
yeah. Because we've
poor
all
poor
felt like
girl.
that in some way in
Yeah,
our life. Yeah,
100%. And it's like, oh, this is I like that part of the show a lot.
absolutely. There's a good portion of the show too that's like really smartly done. I just wish they maybe like leaned into it more.
Yeah.
And I feel like with the specials, in my opinion, because the specials were good, I feel like they'll like do that more. Like I feel like now that like we did all that crazy shit, and not to say that there's not going to be any more crazy shit in the future. I'm sure there will be, but like okay, we got that out of our system in a way. If it feels
Hmm.
like okay, now let's focus on these characters and the high school experience because they're still going to be in high school next season. I think like it'll be
I
like
think
the
so.
last semester. So I don't know how long the show is gonna last, but hopefully we finally get them into college because they're college ready.
They're college ready, okay?
They're more than college ready. Like Zendaya, Rue, she's having problems of like a 33-year-old, and she's 17.
That's something that I noticed too. Like it's like she's having such adult problems, and not to say that high schoolers don't have adult
No, no,
problems.
not to say that that doesn't happen. Yeah,
No, because it probably it most definitely does.
it does happen. Yeah,
But I think it I don't know. It'd be better maybe if it wasn't in high school, but you know. But
yeah.
yeah, she's having.
For some reason, while everything's real, feels real. Like for some reason that portion feels just a maybe a bit phony, which is why maybe it sticks out to us so much because everything else is trying to be so real. But anyway, what I was trying to say before is even though our perspective is limited, being a straight white male, I thought that the portrayal of Hunter Schafer's Jules is was very accurate and very smartly and beautifully told. It was a good portrayal.
Yeah, same. I mean, I know nothing about uh that world, but I think that it was beautiful, and
Yeah,
it was,
agreed, agreed.
yeah.
So yeah,
Um.
I love Jules and Rue. I think their relationship is really
Oh
nice,
yeah.
and I think they're really not good for each other for a good chunk of the show. But I do like them together, if that makes sense. I don't want them to be together right now, but I also like them together.
I thought it was interesting because like Rue put so much of her like she was gonna get clean for Jules, and like, oh, that's, while that's good, that's not very healthy,
Right, because
you
if
know.
you rely so much on just one person to make you better
Happy.
and
Yeah.
happy, better and happy, like that's not good either. Like it's good to,
Mm-mm.
obviously to have connections, but like yeah, maybe you should still have some self independence and some like, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Self control.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of very sad because like Jules, I feel like, not that she doesn't care about Rue, but it's like she doesn't have that problem, you know? So she just kind of like for I don't know, forgets about it or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting position for somebody to be in, like being in a relationship with somebody that's like a recovering addict.
Mm.
And you know, I thought that that was a very interesting part of the
Yeah, and I
show.
like how, you know, like Rue's kind of not kind of she's in the wrong and when it comes to that, but she doesn't know also, so we understand she's young, but also like Jules, you know, just kind of having this connection with someone and also but still like going back to her old ways of what she was doing before, just kind of, sleeping around and not taking uh, her relationship with Rue very seriously, which they even mentioned in the Christmas special. Like, well, they didn't officially like talk about what they are, so like that's also kind of on Rue, but also on both of them, because like if they really felt that way, they should have both talked to each other about like, hey, I liked you a lot. Do you want to be like my girlfriend? Like, do you want to like be like steady, like just with me, kind of thing.
Yeah, the whole show is just lack of communication.
Yeah, man, it's the
Really
whole
is.
yeah, and sometimes it lacks communication with the audience, which I think is kind of a problem. But also,
Ooh,
and I'll tell
go
and
into
I'll tell you
that.
why.
Go into
Um,
that.
uh, this actually gets into my MVP a little bit, so I think I'm just gonna jump into my MVP. So my MVP is Zendaya. Obviously, Zendaya, she's a superstar. So yeah, she as Rue. Rue is far and away the best and most realized character on the show, in my opinion. We get inside her head every episode, maybe to a fault. Uh, because I think we focus so much on her that we kind of lose some of the other characters' perspectives and how they feel, which is why I like the Jules special, because we actually get inside her head more than we ever did in the real show, or the actual, the other episodes. But yeah, we empathize with Rue. We condemn her actions. We understand her actions. She makes us question how cruel we can be as people, and how loving we can be as people. And she makes me sad. She's funny. She has so much pathos to her character and her performance. There's so many little things she does throughout the whole show. She's very cynical, but also wants to believe in love and wants to be happy too. So that's why it's such a interesting, contradiction within herself that I really like. She's essentially everything you want in a main character on a TV show. Once again, do I wish every character had the treatment that she has? Yes, but Rue is great, and she's the most important character. So it's great that she's, the most realized. And Zendaya's Emmy win, I think, was very much justified. She's the best part of the show. I love her.
Yeah, I know some people that didn't think so, and it's like,
Oh, interesting.
yeah, yeah, and I don't know why, because she's so good in this
She's
show,
so good.
and especially like I remember watching like episodes of Shake It Up when I was still trying to hold on to that Disney Channel portion of my life,
You gotta
without
let
telling
go, Hunter. You gotta
without
let
telling
go.
anybody. No, but yeah, I think her growth from being on Disney Channel is the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
It's
Because
probably
it's
the
like,
most interesting like
because it's like
growth we've
name
seen from like a Disney Channel
because it's
star.
like name somebody. Fucking Ross Lynch. He's good in like, I guess in My Friend Dahmer, like he's good,
I don't even know who you're
but
talking about.
he's a guy in Sabrina Adventures. Sabrina Adventures?
Sabrina the
Netflix?
Teenage Witch?
Sabrina the Teenage Witch Adventures.
Okay, I haven't seen that,
That
but I
that
think I
show
know
on
what you're talking
Netflix.
about. Yeah.
He's in that.
Oh,
But
cool.
he's like the only guy from Disney Channel that I can think that
I don't
has
know.
done
Miley
something that's
Cyrus, I
good.
guess, is like another one.
Oh yeah, yeah, but like, yeah, I guess you're
That's
right.
like in a different
It's
direction
in a
though.
different
That's
way
not
though,
like
right?
in a acting, in movies
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
television direction
Yeah.
for the most part.
Because
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people from Disney Channel that have gone to like do music and stuff like that.
Right.
But none that really, at least I think, none that have won an Emmy for,
Yeah,
you know?
and or like yeah, acted. I'm not even saying just like she better performance, but like being in stuff like Euphoria, and
Yeah,
a
uh-huh.
prestige HBO show. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if that's really happened before,
Yeah, and you know what?
and I think that's great.
I know there's people listening that are like, "What about the Mickey Mouse Club with Ryan Gosling?" And I say, "Shut your mouth. We're not talking about that. That's a
We're
different
talking
thing.
about Euphoria.
We're talking Euphoria."
So, Hunter, who
Yeah.
is your MVP? The same? Who's your MVP?
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
I won't even try to uh walk on what you said because that was absolutely perfect. I thought her
Great.
performance and specifically forget what episode it is, but she is um like on Fezco's doorstep
Oh, that's yeah. I think that's the third episode. That
and
scene
it solidified it for me. I was like, she's so good.
that was incredible.
She's so good. And that just was like, yeah, I mean, this is her show. This is her season. This is her year. Okay? And also
The year of Zendaya.
so pumped for that Malcolm and Marie movie with
Yeah, that
John
just
David
came out.
Washington.
Yeah,
Did
that's
it
right.
really? It's out?
Yeah, it's out. It just
Oh,
came out today.
oh, today as of recording this,
Today.
it's out, people. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do.
Zendaya, why are you breaking my heart?
Zendaya, you're breaking my
You're
heart.
breaking my heart, Anakin.
But yeah,
Zendaya. Um,
also
yeah,
I do have some honorable mentions for
yeah.
MVP. Jacob Elordi is Nate Jacobs. I thought that he was just terrifying and also likable in a weird, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. Stop doing bad shit. Stop doing bad shit. And specifically that scene, and also this is kind of bleeding into acting that's like stuck out to me. Specifically that scene where him and his dad are fighting, and like he just like is on the floor and he's slamming into the floor, like his whole body. And I was like, you went to another place. You went to another place. That was amazing. That was really good. And
Yeah.
then honorable mention, and also my favorite character because it's different than my MVP, Angus Cloud as Fezco.
Oh
This dude's
yeah.
awesome. I love this guy. I was like, yeah, you're my high school drug dealer. Like, yeah, dude, that's exactly how to act that. It's just like
you're that guy. You're the guy.
you're the guy. You're the guy that's like, hey man, can I come in? And you're like, no. just give me the
just
drug.
give me my
Just give me the
drugs.
give me the drugs and
Now,
then leave.
now get out.
Now get out.
Now
And
get
then
out.
I also love his love for Rue.
Yeah,
I
and
thought that
her
was
and his respect for her, like, no, I'm not gonna give you these drugs.
yeah. And she's like, that's what you fucking do. And he's like, I can't do that no more. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just
I
like
thought that
it's just such an honest portrayal. You know,
yeah,
like it's not like it doesn't feel like acting. It doesn't feel like
no,
showy at all. It's just kind of him being himself.
yeah, being a drug dealer. And it's like, oh,
Being a drug dealer.
I
You
respect
know,
that
but
so
he's
much.
yeah,
I
you
thought it
did yeah, you
was
did a great job. What's his name
yeah.
again?
Angus
Actor
Cloud.
Angus Cloud. Okay, yeah.
Angus Cloud. Angus Cloud, everybody. Angus Cloud.
Angus, my man,
Shouts
my
out,
boy.
dude. We'd love to have you on the show, bro.
Yes.
Just listen to this, bro. We'd love to have you on the
And
show.
maybe some drugs if you
And
got
maybe
any.
some drugs if you got some.
Best acting scene for me. So is that kind of your favorite moment, like the between them?
Those are my favorite moments. Yeah.
So yeah, for me, uh, all of the Rue special, just all of it. It's basically one glorious scene. I
Yeah.
fucking love it. If I had to pick one moment though from the episode, it's when. Well, I think the ending conversation is so good. I think it's so emotionally charged, and you feel every pause, you feel every thought and action through words that both characters have. You know, it's honest to god magic. But yeah, I think a specific moment, if not that, is when Martin, because that's his real name, leaves to go outside and talk, and he talks to his family on the phone, and we see like a new side to him that we didn't really see before, and it's just really beautiful, I thought. And we see Rue reflecting while that's happening in a way we haven't seen her reflect about things before. So I thought that whole scene was just dynamite. Yeah, so I think that's my favorite acting scene. Just like all of that. More of that, please. What's the matter with kids today? That's basically the tagline for Euphoria.
Yeah.
What's the matter with these kids today? Hunter. Who's your least fave?
My least fave, dude, is Kat Hernandez. I just don't like her character, and I thought that
like Cat?
no, I didn't. I was like, stop doing what you're doing.
You
Go
monster! You absolute cretin!
Am I a monster?
You're a cretin.
Is that a monster? To say that? Is that not a popular
I really
opinion?
like Cat. I thought she
I
was one of the more real, like one of the better characters of the show.
I just was like, stop doing what you're doing. Go get a job. I don't know. I just felt like her scenes led me to being very uncomfortable. And
I do agree with the uncomfortableness, but I thought the
yes.
character was good.
Yeah, I no no no, yeah. Again, this is nothing on like the writing of the character or anything. It's just like I didn't like it.
I
You know what
see.
I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I respect it and I think that there's nothing wrong with it, but I didn't like how it made me feel, and I just
I see.
I could have done without it because there were so many other things that made me uncomfortable that I was like, all right, I'm dealing with it. But this is like, and then it led to the micro wee wee, and I was like, ooh, don't get this off of my Christian household television right now.
Jesus, I'm
Household,
praying this away right now.
yes. Jesus, help me, be
Jesus,
with
help
me.
me out. Yeah, no, that's all. It is a lot, but I really liked her performance, and I thought it was very
Yeah,
like genuine. Like, yeah, like her kind of character arc is interesting. You know, starting off as like kind of shy but empathetic, and then she becomes very confident but kind of a dick. So like, I like the
yeah.
kind of like, you know, maybe there's a middle ground here that you have
Mm-hmm.
to figure out. Um, I thought
Who's your
her ending
least?
was a bit rushed, but I really loved the scenes with her and the other guy that actually likes
Yeah.
her for her. I thought
Uh-huh.
that stuff was really sweet, and I want
It
more of
was, yeah.
that in season two. I think that's really sweet, you know, just to have like a really wholesome relationship like that,
Mm-hmm.
or
Who's
the beginnings of one.
who's your least favorite?
Oh yeah, my least favorite. I literally wrote this. I literally had to look up his name. Chris. The Chris is the. You see, you're looking at me because you don't know who this character is.
Who are you talking
Chris
about?
is
That's not a
the
character.
football player, the other football player, who's dating. Uh,
McKay?
I love it. I love it. You're genuinely like I don't know
Is
who
it
this character
is it
is.
McKay?
Chris McKay, yeah.
Okay.
Chris McKay.
Yeah, all right. Tell me what you didn't like.
I love it. You were like, who?
Who?
Chris. So yeah, Chris, the other football player. Um, as clear as Zendaya is the best character, he's clearly the weakest. I don't hate him or his performance, but like it just perfectly showed like you don't even remember his story or his character. Like he was just like kind of whatever. It didn't make me feel all that much. Uh, Once again, he's fine. Don't want to roast him, but like yeah, I just thought like the portrayal wasn't greatly handled, and I felt like took away from like focusing on other characters in that episode, and I was like, eh.
See, I now I know that who you're talking about. I was like, I liked him. I didn't think that he was like.
Now that I remembered who he was, now I
Well,
like
I
him.
I liked the there was like a football like backstory with him, and I liked that.
But we already
Like when he
got
was
a
a kid and
football
stuff like that.
backstory with Nate. It was the same shit all over again.
Yeah, but isn't, maybe I remember wrong, but isn't Chris McKay like the nice guy? Wasn't
Is
he
he
like
though?
nice? I thought he was
He
more than
wasn't.
anybody
He wasn't
else.
nice. He was so hot and cold with Cassie because like he wants her to like cover up, but then also like is being like really really dirty, you know, through texts. So it's just like clearly like he's
Oh
not
yeah.
actually that great of a guy if he's like don't do this but also do this thing for me kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he's a very nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's layers because I like that's a shit thing, right? But then I felt like he also did like things that were nice. I don't know.
Like what?
I can't remember any of the nice things he did. I just got that vibe,
That's
but
it.
maybe I'm
I'm
wrong.
canceling Chris. You can't prove me wrong. I'm right. I am right.
I don't remember where his character went though, so I understand.
I'm right. So
Most likely.
but yeah, but I think honestly, even though I didn't hate him, I think the most disappointing character I think is Nate.
Ooh,
Hot take, but I think his
that's a very hot
performance
take.
I think his performance was very good in the first episode. I loved him in that one because he was actually like emoting and was actually like had a multiple range of emotions. But then after that, after the pilot, he just like he was just kind of like stone faced and like just
He was very stone faced. You're
like
right.
he was just kind of like I'm very serious. I'm crazy, and it's like
Yeah,
yeah. and I see that, but I also wanted to see that other guy, the guy who put on a face, the guy who put on like, hey guys, I'm this, hot douchebag guy, haha, just like what he was doing before in the pilot, because I thought that was really fun, because he was just such an asshole in that episode. I was like, and he's like loving it, because I always like that kind of archetype, because I think it works, like, cause,
Yeah, it does.
and like I thought that really worked in the pilot, but then he's just kind of like not really emoting all that much. I don't know if that's his fault. I don't know. I don't know if it's the script's fault. I think it's the script's fault, because he's so, like, in my opinion, so like one note. He's just kind of like, yeah, I'm really serious. You look really pretty, by the way, but I'm also gonna destroy you. It's just kind of like, I don't know. Like I felt like we could have done more with him, like not only just like performance wise, but just like writing wise, and just like, I don't know, more range of emotions. Like let's see him put on a face again, like for other people. Like, there's the real Nate, and then there's like the fake Nate, and I wanted to see more of him like trying to be like this cool guy in front of everybody else, like, hey, I'm the best, and really show that ego some more, really show some more layers to him, because I didn't really get a lot after the pilot.
Yeah,
So I don't hate him or the performance, but I really want to see more from him, because he's just kind of a bad guy. That's about it so far.
yeah.
Like obviously like we see like why he's a bad guy, because of his dad and everything, but like, I don't know. I wanted them to explore it a little more.
Yeah, his dad's a creepo. He
He
was one of the reasons that I wanted to stop watching the show.
Yeah, I don't even want to
I'm
talk
not gonna
about
lie.
that
Yeah,
motherfucker.
let's not.
Let's not. So, but I do want more out of him, because I think Nate has potential. Chris does not. Chris is just born.
Oof, you have canceled Chris, my boy.
I have officially canceled Chris. I've officially canceled Chris. But yeah, so I don't really want to see Chris anymore. Stay in college. So yeah, let's get into our top 3 episodes, starting with you. What is your number 3 episode of Euphoria season 1 and the specials?
Where is it? It's number 3. We got Made You Look. Zendaya really shines in this episode, I feel like. It's an absolute masterclass on acting, and I'm pretty sure, because I wrote each of these while I was watching it, so I'm pretty sure this is the episode where she's at Fesco's door. I could watch that episode just for that. And I thought that was pretty amazing. But yeah, that's my number 3. I don't have super long descriptions why
Totally
I liked it, because I'd probably just end up repeating myself. But yeah. What about you, my boy? What's your number 3?
Well, I'll tell you. The pilot.
Okay.
Makes me want to take drugs, but also no, don't take drugs. What a great episode to start the show. I thought it tells the best character, Ruse, story, and her monologues about her worldview made me weepy and engaged. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. We get a great glimpse of everyone at their best, including and especially Jules, Nate, and Kat. I thought they were great. And once again, as I said before, I think the best we saw Nate, because he wasn't just a bad guy. Like, he was like an asshole and like loving it, and was the top dog, and we saw that more, I think, in that episode than any other. It's a juggling act with the focus always being on Rue, though, and we understand why she's taking drugs. We just want her to be okay. It's the funnest tragedy I've ever seen.
See, interesting, because I didn't like the pilot at all. It made me feel queasy, made me feel uncomfy.
Interesting.
Yeah. But see, this is the thing with this show. Whenever I see you talk about something, I'm like, oh yeah, I can see that. I can see why he likes that.
I mean, I disagree.
I mean, he's fucking wrong on all.
He's a fucking idiot, but I get it.
Yeah, but I see that, and that's why I get it, because you're a fucking idiot. So of course you like that.
Fuck you, Hunter. What is your number 2?
My numero 2 is Shook Ones Part 2, which I'm pretty sure is named after a song, because I'm not sure why they called it Shook Ones Part 2, because there's no Part 1. But that's okay. I set that aside.
Where's Part 1?
Where's
Part 1?
No, what I really hope they do is that in season 2 they have a Shook Ones Part 1. don't know why they do that, but I hope that they do it just for my sake.
That'd be so weird that I feel like they're definitely gonna do it.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the carnival episode that I was
Yeah.
talking about. It felt high stakes. It felt very high stakes. I felt like this is where it was all like leading to, and this is where it's going to branch out and become like a really crazy story. And like kind of everything that was leading up, like episode 1 and 2 was all kind of leading up to this episode, and then they were kind of going to branch out from there. And I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was a roller coaster ride because they're at a carnival. But yeah, I that's my number 2.
Sweet.
Nicholas Manna, what's your second favorite episode of the season?
What's your favorite? Skip the second one.
Skip it. I don't want to hear the second one.
Yeah,
what's your number 2?
My number 2, Jules. I have to scream it for some reason. This special episode killed me. It killed me.
It killed me too.
So I think it's a fucking wonderful look at her, at Jules. And I've always wanted that kind of a deep character study with her, and we finally got it. I thought. I think the whole show I've been waiting for, like, okay, like let's get like one just about Jules, and we finally got one. We understand her in a way we never did before because she's telling the story, not Rue like in her, in a Rue voiceover talking about someone else's story. We're talking about her story and she's telling it. And that's, I think, very important and something I think we're missing in the show so far. We see her side and we see how messy and flawed her story is, but also how empathetic and relatable it is. It's anchored by a wonderful performance by Hunter Schafer. I think it's her best performance yet on the show. It's just like, it's just really fucking powerful. And we need more episodes like this. And about her, written and performed by her. It's just I thought it was just an absolute powerhouse of an episode.
Yeah, I think that I should probably watch those Christmas specials again. Because maybe I was just really like, I don't know, drowned out by the show. I don't know.
Maybe but I was just like, I was crying like the whole time, dude.
Damn. All right, maybe I'll go back and watch them because that.
Like a baby.
Like a blah.
Like a mamma mia. Oh. Like a mommy.
Like no. Yeah, maybe I should go watch them.
Yeah.
Because you just that description of it kind of like it a little bit changed my mind.
You know what I mean? Like, they pulled a Lost. They just made it. They just had an episode specifically about this one character, and we saw her backstory. We saw her flashbacks, flash forwards. Mm-hmm. It was great. It was awesome.
They pulled a Lost. Of course, it's awesome. No.
I'm gonna say that for every show we do now that focuses on one character. They pulled a Lost.
I felt like in some of the episodes they.
Hello,
ma'am.
Sir or ma'am, we're gonna need you to stop. All right.
I think. Okay.
All right. Thank you. So, cool. Hunter, what's your number 1?
So, my number 1 is not only do I think it's the best, or I'll say my favorite episode of the season, but it also has the best name of the season. The Trials and Tribulations of Trying to Pee While Depressed.
That is a great
episode
title.
7. It starts off and it's like, boom, we're in a detective show now, and you better listen up. It felt like Lost and it felt like Sawyer. But I loved Rue has an awesome monologue in this episode of like, she's like, when Morgan Freeman is in like a detective show and like, that's me right now, I'm Morgan. And I was like, I love this. I love everything about this. And
I really love that episode too.
Yeah, and it felt like different than like it felt like it was taking a new path in the entire.
Yeah, like it was show. It was like a weirder, funnier path. I liked that.
Yeah.
Anytime a show can like take itself just a little bit less seriously, I'm like, yes, go for it, my dude.
I know, yeah, and I felt like it was like a very good commentary on like depression. I thought that was awesome. It felt like from this point until the end of episode 8 until like the end of the season 1, I was like, oh, this feels like new television. This feels like Like it's really trying to innovate and go somewhere. And I know that this isn't episode 7. This is at the end of episode 8, but how the show ended, I was like, this is very, I don't know if I like it that it ended with like a music video type deal. Like, but I was like, this is new and this is now it's happening. I like that part about it. I like
Yeah,
that part about
I loved that music video at the end. I thought it was
yeah,
so weird.
so weird.
It threw me off. I was by the end I was just like, I don't know, singing along and clap, like honestly I was like grooving to it and I was like
Mm-hmm.
loving it because I was like, yeah, this is weird. Like I like that they're taking bold shakes like that. Like, hey, let's just fucking have a music video at the end because she's
Yeah,
on drugs and she might die, and like it's just, but and so it's like operatic in the way like, oh my god, like she's ruining herself by doing this, but it's also like beautiful, and I thought that was really striking.
yeah, it's very weird. But like,
I
yeah,
loved it. Yeah.
but the ending of it, it really did feel like, you know what, fuck it, we're just gonna have a music video because you know what, motherfuckers, Zendaya's starring in this show, and she can
Fuck you,
dance,
she's gonna
and she,
sing.
yeah, and you know what, fuck you, she can do it all.
And you're gonna
Bam,
fucking watch it. You're gonna watch a 3 minute long music video right now, you fuckers.
you fucks.
You fucks. But my number one uh, is, drum roll, please. Good. Rue, the special Rue.
Of
Uh,
course it is.
I think it's a fucking masterpiece, dude. I thought it was a masterpiece that stripped away everything but the essentials. Actors making us care.
Yeah.
It's the best episode of the show so far. It's essentially a bottle episode, which you know I like.
Uh-huh.
And it's just about two people trying to reach each other. They're just trying to reach each other, and what you said before about making mistakes. It's why we can make mistakes and not kill ourselves over it. Why we can learn, grow, and acknowledge what we did was bad, and it's portrayed in a way that isn't easy and cheap. It's real and honest, and it's a path, it's a road. Some roads are going to be longer than others, but we need to, like, take a look at ourselves sometimes, because when we don't, we're going to continue to do the bad stuff that we're going to hate ourselves for doing. And obviously some bad things are worse than others, but like, I liked how it, especially by the end, Ali, my man Martin, he's like, it's okay. Like you can, it's gonna be okay. Like you think that's bad? Here's what I did.
Yeah.
You think that's worse? You think I'm a good man still, right? And she says yes. And then I cry because it's just so good, because it's true.
Yeah.
You can do bad things but still be a good person. You can be a bad person, believe me. But like it's not that easy. It's not that simple. It's just great stuff there. And then he says like, you're gonna make it. I don't know why. But I just know you're gonna make it. See, it's making me cry right now.
It is.
Because, like,
I love it.
because like it's true. Like I don't know
Yeah.
how or why, but I believe in you. And so yeah, so it felt like an episode specifically made for me. I was
Mhm.
putty in this episode's hands. Shout out to Zendaya and Coleman Domingo. Awe-inspiring. I want the rest of the show to be that episode because I
Mhm.
thought that was just like a straight up masterpiece.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't argue with it. I can't argue with it. Beautifully said, Nicholas.
Before we wrap up, though,
Yeah.
our rating and I guess ranking all the episodes because
Yep.
there's not a lot. But yeah, so Hunter.
Yeah. I think my rating, I think it's gonna have to be 8 out of 10. I'm gonna give it some room to grow. But I did like it. It made me feel uncomfy. It's not a perfect show, nor do I think that it deserves all of the hype that it gets, because
Interesting.
it has created this culture around the show, and I don't see that now, but I'm giving it room to grow. So I'll go through my rankings
Yep.
of all the shows. I didn't add the Christmas specials on here because those are last for me, just because I didn't. I know. But give
You
me
special episode hater.
give me some time to grow, man. Give me some time to
That's
grow.
true. I just said, you can make mistakes, man. You can make mistakes.
And Hunter, this is your mistake.
This is your big mistake, dude.
Yeah. All right, so I got the Trials of Tribulation, Trying to Be Well Depressed. I got Shook Ones Part 2. Number 3, Made You Look. Number 4, '03, Bonnie and Clyde. And I wrote down under it, Just a Sick Relationship. How toxic. I love it. Number 5, The Next Episode. Number 6, And the Salt of the Earth Behind You. I think that's what it's called. Stunting Like My Daddy. And then my least favorite is Pilot. Yeah, because I didn't like it.
Fair enough.
It's my least favorite because I didn't like it. Is that enough for you guys?
That makes sense. Is that enough for you?
Is that enough for you?
I would have to agree with you. 8 out of 10. I think when it's good, it's really good, but I want it to be maybe just a tad more consistent. I think it could get better, but I think it's really solid, and I think like we're on the right track. Like it's gonna be on my radar, this show. Like I hope now, like for like just like out there and just like important and awesome television. So yeah, I can't wait. Here's my ranking best to worst. Rue, Jules, Pilot, The Trial and Tribulations of Trying to Be Well Depressed, Made You Look, Bonnie and Clyde '03, and Salt the Earth Behind You, The Next Episode, Statin' Like My Daddy, Shook Ones Part 2. Our episodes are all over the place.
Yeah, has never happened. That's HBO for you. Right there. That's what it tells me. That's HBO.
That's HBO. HBO.
HBO.
That was our Euphoria discussion. Thank you so much, Hunter, for being a wonderful co-host.
Thank you, Nick, for being such a wonderful co-host as well. And thank you, Actors, for tuning in. We got more on the way for this wonderful season 2. So stay tuned for that. Army Hammer's coming on the show. We're going to break down all things cannibalism.
You can email us questions, suggestions, or if you want to guest star at NYCActorsFilmpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at NYCActorsPod and Instagram at NYCActorsTalkFilm. You can find us right now anywhere you listen to podcasts. Please consider liking and following us on these platforms. Rate us 5 stars on iTunes. Look out for more updates and new episodes whenever we fucking want to.
Whenever we fucking feel like it, okay? But usually
you don't have control over us.
But also, it's probably gonna be every week.
But it's probably gonna be every week.
We'll
let you know because
we'll let you know.
We love you.
Yeah, we love you, and thank you for listening. You can check us out on our website at walkingpoem12.wixsite.com. You can also just type in NYC Actors Talk Film. You can find all of our episodes on there. You can find all of our guests on there, and you can even find a bio about how Nick and I met and how the show got started. Isn't that something you want to read, dude? So go check that out. Yeah,
because it's about me.
It's about me too. So obviously, we're interested.
We got a YouTube channel, NYC Actors React. You're probably maybe even watching this on our YouTube channel right now.
Tap that subscribe button and hit that notification bell because it really helps us out. Thank you.